The last time the Cubs were at Wrigley Field, Sean Dunston brought home the victory with an extra inning base hit. That was just 4 days ago. Since then, he's been traded. So today the Cubs will have to look to new heroes as interleague play continues with the Minnesota Twins. It's all coming up in a moment.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN. Brought to you by Budweiser. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. The Stars of Chicagoland, your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer. The Discover Card, proud partner of the Smithsonian's 150th anniversary. Pepsi, Generation Next. Montgomery Ward. Nissan, your local Nissan store encourages you to test drive the all-new 1998 Altima today. And by Southwest Airlines, with fares so low, you have the freedom to go places.
Control problems. Now, he's going to be put to the test today because the Cubs are one of the most difficult teams to walk, and yet Robertson has only one more strikeout than walk. Steve Traxel going to the mound for the Cubs with the wind blowing straight in. He's pitched very well in this park. And with the wind blowing in, that's an advantage where the Cubs are 2 games over 500.
You know, this might be unkind on the holiday especially, but isn't it the truth that these may be the 2 worst teams in the league?
Well, they're 2 of the 4 worst teams, Harry, and certainly this is a battle for the #1 draft choice. But Minnesota has lost 78. The Cubs have lost 82. But the Cubs have played much better at home. So with interleague play, just 1 more series all the way around, the National League holds a 9-game advantage over the American League.
Harry Caray and Steve Stone at Wrigley Field. Here is the Minnesota lineup. Tom Kelly, their manager, has Knobloch leading off at second base. Breedy in right field. Molitor at first. Coomer at third. Steinbach, the catcher. Cordova in left. Becker, another local area boy, in center. Meares, the shortstop. And Robertson is the pitcher. The Pepsi defense for Jim Riggleman for the Cubs is, as you see at Glanville, Johnson and Sosa around the infield. Ori, Alexander, Sandberg and Grace around the infield. Service catching, Traxel pitching. And the umpires are Gary Davis behind the plate, Terry Tate at first, Bill Hahn at second, and Scott Potter at third. Well, here we are. We're with Dunston, we're without Dunston, we're with Dunston, without Dunston. I think this time for good, he will no longer be a member of the Chicago Cubs unless he's hired in some other capacity other than a ball player.
Well, I do believe that Sean Dunston wants to continue playing, and there's nothing that will stop the Cubs from signing Dunston as a free agent if they choose to do that. Obviously, now with Sean out of the picture, they get a chance to take a look at Manny Alexander every day at shortstop and see if they like what they see. And Steve Traxel goes to the mound at 6-10. Now, he's thrown a couple games against the American League Central. Unfortunately, hasn't fared very well, although he is 1-0. The ERA 5.84 in 2 starts. He defeated Milwaukee. He got a no decision against Kansas City. And with the wind blowing almost straight in toward the Cub dugout, it's a big advantage here today at Wrigley Field. The Cubs have played very well here. There's a look at Tom Kelly, who's done such a great job with the Minnesota Twins. He was there during the good times. He's been there during the bad times. And they're in the middle of a rebuilding process in Minnesota. And look at Tom Kelly in what he's done in his 12 seasons.
Boy, look at this crowd. Going to have very close to capacity. The bleachers are well jammed already. And why not? A gorgeous day for baseball. Well, I see where young Griffey hit number 44 last night. Larry Walker hit a couple of them, 39th and his 40th. And one of those home runs is the longest ever hit at Coors Field. 493 feet, they say. 7 feet further than Andres Galarraga hit one the other day. The Montgomery Ward honorary bat boy and bat girl are Aaron Algus, the bat boy, Raquel Ruiz, the bat girl. Congratulations to both attractive youngsters. A lot of people from Minnesota, and why not a weekend to enjoy the holiday, climaxed by this ball game featuring their hometown team against the Chicago Cubs.
And leading off, probably one of the best ball players on this team and one of the best in the American League, Chuck Knobloch, who's done a great job. He's become one of the cornerstones of this franchise, and they're going to try to build around Knobloch.
The three players, and well, two of them are in the starting lineup. Rich Becker and Ron Coomer are playing today, and Scott Stahoviak is the other one, all from the Chicago area. First pitch of the ball game. Strike. Boy, Philadelphia leading the Yankees 5-0 at the end of 4. And Cleveland well ahead of Pittsburgh 7-3 in the bottom of the 4th. Knobloch, a fine leadoff man. As you can tell by the number of runs he scored, he's right in among the leaders. 1 ball, 1 strike. A little bit low. Knobloch. A high foul ball out of play. Knobloch hitting .295 with 9 homers, 53 RBIs. He's been hit by pitch balls 13 times.
And he's stolen 52 bases, and that's the one aspect of his game that's devastating for this team if you don't retire him at the top of the order.
Here's a high pop foul. Mark Grace chasing it, but no play into the stand. Mark got to drop his cap more often. Chasing that foul ball, he lost his cap. You know, they all wore their socks up high with the pants folded around the knees. And Mark was so hot, he kept them that way today. Here's a foul ball out of play. Knobloch is not being fooled at all on his swing. The Twins are 6-6 in interleague play. Fouled it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Minnesota's at the fewest home runs in the American League with just 107. And the Cubs are second from the bottom in home runs in the National League.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Inside and low, ball 3.
And we'll take a look at home runs. The Cubs with 1 less than the Twins, and the Phillies have hit the fewest.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled it out of play. Now this is what you call a leadoff man. He takes pitches, he fouls pitches. When he's through in his time at bat, he'll be in that dugout telling every one of the players what Traxel has and what to anticipate. Now he's down to 3-2 again. Ball 4, and now he walks.
Well, now Traxel has a problem because you have to be very careful with Knobloch. 52 steals. He's only been caught 7 times, and he keys their running game that has swiped 121 bases this year. They've been thrown out 43 times.
Here is Brent Breedy hitting .263. A lot of photographers are here from Minnesota, the various towns in the state. Here's a strike call. Walt Barry from Twin Town Photo in Oakdale, Minnesota. Sends a couple of interesting pictures. Brady outside, and it evens the count 1-1. The Phillies. Let's see, who's going to be pitching? Would that be
Kurt Schilling? Yes.
It is. He's shutting out the Yankees 5-0 at the end of 4.5. And has allowed only one hit. Wonder how many he's struck out already. For 15 times or so, he struck out over 10 men this year alone.
Breed with pretty good speed. He's only grounded into one double play in 114 at-bats.
1 ball, 1 strike. A little bit low, ball 2.
See Scott Service with a new piece of equipment. He's got that padding now over his right shoulder. He took a foul tip, and it's bruised and sore, and he said he could ill afford to take another one. So you see, for the first time, he's added that little extension over the right arm, giving him a little more protection.
A lot of Minnesota fans. There's someone right there. 2 balls and a strike. And Traxel throws over there.
If you're thinking about the hit and run, this is a pretty good pitch. Knobloch hasn't seen the good move of Traxel, but he's got a very good move to first.
Foul the pitch up in the upper deck. Tom Kelly's a veteran manager of the Twins. Terry Crowley is his batting coach. Ron Gardenhire coaches at first base. Scott Uber at third base. High, ball 3.
Well, now you'll have an opportunity to most likely strike him out, throw him out if you can get the ball by him. You got to figure that Knobloch will be running. It's a good time for your best move to first if Traxel has held back his best move from Knobloch.
Again, he's 3-2. That's with each of the first 2 hitters. There goes Knobloch. The pitch swung on, a drive down the right field line. A base hit. Knobloch's on his way to third base, holding up. You can tell from that roar how many people are here from Minnesota.
Well, normally Knobloch scores on this, but he had to hold up to wait to see if Sammy was going to make the catch. It was down the line, and Sammy couldn't get to it. It turns out to be a 2-base hit. Knobloch pulls into third, and early in this one, Traxel's in trouble. From the Southwest Airlines Plainview camera, we'll take a look at a pretty good swing on 3-2. And it turns into a 2-base hit.
Paul Molitor has more than 3,000 hits. Runners at second and third, nobody out. Molitor hitting .299, 8 homers, 75 RBIs.
Infield back, conceding the run to stay out of the big inning.
He bunts out, though, and he perfectly executed squeeze play, and he beats the throw at first. Listen to these Minnesota fans.
'76 runs batted in as Molitor, who's always been a good bunter, pulls a surprise party on Kevin Ory, who makes a fine play, gets it there, but not in time. So it's runners at the corners, 3 men up, 1 run in, and nobody out. Will isolate on Paul Molitor. He does it perfectly.
Oh, I'll say.
And Molly still can get down the line. Now Phil Regan coming out to talk with Steve Traxel. He wants to calm him down. Molitor ties the throw at first. And it has been an inauspicious beginning for Steve Traxel.
So Molitor with 76 RBI. By golly, you know, I think more people have come in from Minnesota to see their team play the Cubs than go to the ballpark in Minnesota to see their team play anybody else. Their attendance is not, well, it's over 1 million. As a matter of fact, every major league team this year is already over the 1 million mark. Cubs are getting very close to 2 million.
And Coomer's a good story. 8 years in the minor leagues with the Dodgers. And here he is in the big leagues doing a nice job at third for Minnesota.
He takes a pitch high. Coomer, C-O-O-M-E-R, born in Crest Hill, Illinois, and lives now in Orland Park. And his pass list was probably pretty big today. Pulled the foul high into the stand. At the end of 4 innings, Cleveland 7, Pittsburgh 4. Mark Grace and Paul Molitor, both headed for the Hall of Fame, probably. Runners at first and third.
Well, Twins gave Todd Walker a chance to play third. It didn't work out very well, so Coomer has taken over and done a fine job.
1-1 pitch. Fly ball, left field. Now watch his throw. Here comes the runner. Here's the throw to the plate. Offline. And so it's 2-0. And on the throw, Molitor advanced from first to second. A sacrifice fly for Coomer.
RBI 62 and a heads-up base running play by Paul Molitor. He knows the throw is coming through. It's off target. Reed scores, and it's 2-0. Watch it again. This throw, one of the few that Glanville has made this year that's off target. And Molitor, a very smart player, going to second base.
Here's Terry Steinbach, veteran receiver. Good right-hand hitter with 12 homers, 51 RBIs. Hitting .263. Boy, how about that Levan Hernandez? Won again last night, 9-0. The refugee from Cuba. Pitch into the dirt, ball 2. Boy, Traxel's been behind every hitter.
And Service did a fine job of stopping that one. That was a split finger fastball, bounced about 2 feet in front of home plate, and could have easily have gotten away.
I see where Kevin Tappan, he tried a couple of split fingers at forkball, and he's encouraged with the way he felt.
Well, he got a couple of strikeouts in Cleveland here. He threw a brilliant game, winning that game in the middle of the series. The Cubs dropped 2 out of 3 to the Tribe, and the Tribe has some offense.
A bouncing ball. Nice play by Grace. Throw to first. He's out. Fine play by Mark Grace. I think all the ball players, Ori's got his pants at the knees. Grace has them at the knees. Everybody else wearing them long.
It's a fine effort by Mark Grace to his right. Looked like it had a chance to go through, but not with Grace down there. And he fires a strike to Steve Traxel, who makes the play and has to pivot quickly and keep an eye on Paul Molitor.
Marty Cordova hitting .240 with 11 home runs. Strike called over the outside corner. Rich Becker, who's from Aurora, although he now lives in Cape Coral, Florida, is with the Twins last year, hit .291.
Cordova had a couple of very good years, .277, .309, but had a heel problem this year.
Here's a pitch outside.
And that heel problem has really hurt him. He drove in 111 runs last year with 16 homers when he hit .309. This year, all the numbers down for him. And over the last 2 years, he was quite a hitter.
Pitch is high. 2 balls and a strike. The White Sox are at St. Louis. No score at the end of 1. Cincinnati leads Kansas City 3-1 at the end of 5. Wong fouled it back. Cleveland out in front of Pittsburgh 7-4 at the end of 4. Philadelphia with Schilling on the mound leads the Yankees 5-0 at the end of 5. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2-0 in favor of the Twins. Struck him out, a slider over the outside corner. Cordova called out on strike. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go in the bottom of the first. 2-0 Twins. Lance Jansen in center field. Glendale in left. Grace at first. Sosa in right. Sandberg at second. Ori at third. Service catching. Alexander at shortstop. And Steve Traxel is on the mound. The defensive alignment is Cordova in left, Becker in center, and Breedy in right. Coomer, Meares, Knobloch, and Molitor around the infield. Steinbach catching, and Robertson on the mound. Robertson is 1-8, lost 11. Earned run average 5.43. First pitch in there, a strike call.
The walks have been a problem. Last year he walked 116, Fanning just 114. This year, walks and strikeouts just 1 apart.
There, oh, great play by Knobloch. Lance Johnson hit a screaming line drive. Knobloch breaking to his left, stabbed it with his glove.
Good defensive play on this curveball that rolled over the heart of the plate. And Chuck Knobloch right there to make the play.
So with 1 away, here's Doug Glanville. His average around that 303. He's around there all the time. 4 homers, 29 RBIs. One out, nobody on. 2-0 Minnesota, bouncing ball. Knobloch in over the first. To Molitor for the out. And here's Mark Graves, who had a good trip to Cleveland. Raised his average to 324 with 10 homers, 62 RBI.
Mark Grace was originally drafted by the Minnesota Twins in the 15th round of the January 1984 draft. He didn't sign. The Cubs got him in the 24th round in '85, and the rest, as we say, is history.
No, my man Paul Harvey says the rest of the story. 1 ball, no strike. A little bit outside.
Grace is one of the few guys on this team that will look at a few pitches. A guy who has some problems getting the ball over.
Ball high inside. He probably, on a good ball club, would be a perfect leadoff man. They talk he's not fast, but what's the difference? He's on base all the time. There's a strike call. 3-1. You only mention it because everybody seems to be of the mind that you have to have one position of demand power is first base. Ball 4, Grace goes down to first base with a walk. Here's Sammy Sosa.
Robertson has given up 17 home runs in 140 innings. And even with the wind blowing in, Sammy loves left-handers.
No, it would seem to me, watching the games from Cleveland, Steve, and looking at the scoreboard right now, that they have a definite pitching problem.
Well, there's no question about that. If they had real solid pitching, Harry, they'd be up 15 games in that division.
Here's a pitch, a strike call.
Because that offense that the Indians put on the field every day does not have one soft spot in it.
I must tell you, I certainly enjoyed seeing your mother and dad on the tube.
Oh, that was quite a weekend.
That was the most enjoyable thing about the whole ball game.
I certainly enjoyed my weekend in Cleveland, and it has certainly changed since I was there last.
Pitch a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. I guess the change has been very much for the better, huh?
Oh, it's beautiful, and the downtown is very lively with Jacobs Field and the Gund Arena, the area called the Flats, and the Warehouse District. There's a lot of excitement downtown.
Is my favorite place the Theatrical Lounge still there?
Changed a little bit, yeah, it's still there.
That might be a pass ball that hit off of Steinbeck's glove. It was a high pitch. Pass ball it is.
Probably one that should have been handled by Terry Steinbach, but wasn't. And Mark Grace moves into scoring position.
Sammy Sosa with a chance to drive in his 103rd run. Maybe 104th run. There's a long drive. Way back. It might be. It could be. His 104th run with his 31st home run with a man on. And this game is tied up 2-2. Now listen to the Cub fans. Boy, oh boy, he creamed that ball straight away. Center Rich Becker took a couple of steps back and then watched it land in the shrubbery out there. Get ready, Mama. Here's Sammy about there he goes. Never forgets Mama in the Dominican Republic. 1 ball, no strike. Home run, what? Home run, the COM, Baca. 2 balls, no strike. Strike in there. Ryan Sandberg hitting .267. 10 homers, 53 RBIs. Hot shot on the ground. Knobloch has it over the first to retire the side. But 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. At the end of 1, it's tied at 2. What do you think of the happy feet?
Well, for Southwest Airlines, it did fly 412 happy feet, and it was crushed into the wind. And from the Southwest Airlines Plainview camera, take a look at a fastball down the middle that went a long way.
Here's Rich Becker, was born and raised in Aurora, now lives down in Florida, hitting .266. High pop foul, out of play. You know, that Irabue started for the Yankees. He was knocked out. Philadelphia with Schilling on the hill leads the Yankees 5-0 at the end of 5. There's a strike call. Isn't it funny? No matter how weak a team might be or how powerful a team might be, when a great pitcher pitches against them, He makes the weak look strong and the strong look weak.
Well, if you can send a man to the mound like Curt Schilling, you're usually in pretty good shape. And the team has a lot more confidence when he goes to the mound.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Line drive foul down the first baseline. Boy, I tell you, that Grace may not be fast. And everybody says he isn't fast, so I got to believe it too. But he's sure quick. He's sure quick defensively around first base. One ball, 2 strikes. Little outside. Cleveland still 7-4 over Pittsburgh in the top of the 6th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Long drive foul. The Mets lead Toronto 1-0 at the end of 4. And Montreal leads the Red Sox 1-0 at the end of 4. The White Sox and St. Louis score at the end of 2. Little bit outside, and again we're down to 3-2. Three-two pitch. Long drive, left center field. Way back is Lance Johnson on the warning track and makes the catch. Becker flies deep to Lance Johnson. 1 out. That brings up the shortstop, Pat Meares.
Meares has done a very steady job at shortstop for them. Driven in 50 runs, hitting .273. And has played a good short all season.
And he's got a little pop. He's hit 8 homers. 1 out, nobody on. 2-2 tie. Strike call. Big crowd on hand. There's a fly ball, and the center lands coming in fast on the run. Whoa, what a play! Lance Johnson ran 2.5 miles. I made a diving shoestring somersaulting catch.
This is a great effort by Lance Johnson. The wind is knocking this ball down. He comes in, takes it right off the grass, and makes the catch. Good effort by Lance.
So 2 men are out. Philadelphia is changing pitches against the Yankees. No, not yet. 5-1 Phillies leading. Batting in the bottom of the 6th. Rich Robertson. With a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Robertson's had only 1 out of 4. The American League pitchers haven't batted off very often. This is the first year they've had interleague play. So this is the first year, really, they've had a chance to hit. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, game tied, 2-2. Fouled it back. Well, I have to guess around 33,000, maybe 35,000 a day. Ball. 3-2 on the pitcher. Robertson, 2 out. Fouled it back again. Robertson looks like a pretty good hitter for a pitcher. 3-2. Come on. 1, 2, 3. We go into the bottom of the second, tied up at 2. One ball, one strike. Kevin Ory checked his swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two tie. Sammy Sosa hit another one with a man on. Grace on. Grace drew another base on ball. Sammy parked one in the garden out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Line drive right at Coomer. 1 out. Let's pause here for identification.
This is WGN-TV, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Scott Service, a hitter, went away. Kevin Ory hit the ball as hard as you can hit it, but right at the third baseman. Chicago boy Ron Coomer. One out, nobody on. Cleveland has changed pitchers. There's a long drive. I don't think anybody will reach it from rolling deep. Up with it. The center fielder Becker holds him to a double. Service doubles to right center.
Well, Scott Service crushes this ball. It's another fastball down, and he hits it into the gap. Becker does a nice job of cutting it off, but not before Scott coasts into second base. So the go-ahead run in scoring position for Manny Alexander.
I'd like to see the gun on how fast this Robertson's fastball is. My guess is it isn't very fast.
86, 87. That's where he tops out. Occasionally 88.
There's a curveball low and inside.
The curveball, it's his best pitch, but if he's having some trouble getting it over the plate like he is today, then that fastball becomes very hittable.
He's got a funny delivery, too. He kind of holds the ball in back of his head a little longer than most pitchers do. One out, one on. Fouled it back. Manny Alexander hitting .245, 2 homers, 18 RBI. Kansas City took the lead at Cincinnati with 3. They now lead 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th. The Indians have changed pitchers at Pittsburgh. There's a curveball inside. Third pitcher used today by the Indians, who've been out in front all day long. Pirates batting now, though, in the bottom of the 6th. Curveball. Hit him. Manny Alexander hit by a pitch ball. And Traxel steps up there.
Well, the Southwest Plainview camera will take a look at the second time Manny Alexander's been hit this year. The first time as a Cub. And there is a Southwest Airlines Plainview camera high atop Wrigley Field. Steinbach out to try to calm down Robertson, who's having all kinds of problems getting the curveball over the plate.
Andy McPhail with his family in the Cubs box. Of course, Andy knows everybody connected with this Minnesota ball club. Runners first and second. Pitch is high. The Indians got 4 in the first at Pittsburgh. The Pirates came back, got 2. Then the Indians got 2 in the third to make it 6-2. The Pirates got 1 in the third. The Indians got another one in the fourth to make it. There's a bunt. Beautifully laid down to throw to first. Whoa, a great play by Knobloch. Almost a wild throw by Robertson. And runners around to second and third.
Rich Robertson tried to throw this one away, but for the heroics of Chuck Knobloch. It's a good bunt by Traxel. Robertson takes his time and throws it in the dirt. Good pickup by Chuck Knobloch.
Boy, fine play indeed. 2 out runners at second and third. Lance Johnson can put the Cubs ahead here.
Robertson's thrown 10 wild pitches, so that one might come into play.
Strike over the outside corner. 1 strike and nothing. 2 out. Low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lance Johnson is a hitting leadoff man. He's the only guy who ever has led the American League in hits 1 year and the National League another year. Line drive in the left field, coming on, making a great catch. Fine play by Marty Cordova, who had to get a perfect jump on that one to catch it, and he did. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left. At the end of 2, all tied at 2.
Will receive a Cubby from the original Ty Beanie Babies collection. The Cubs will also include a special edition commemorative card. Game time is 3:05 and gates open at 1:05. So for tickets, stop by the Wrigley Field box office, any Ticketmaster Ticket Center, or call 312-831-CUBS.
Well, they had the top of their batting order to start off the third. Chuck Knobloch, who walked and scored in the first. A little bit low. Fine crowd on hand. 1 ball, no strikes. A little bit outside.
Knobloch's on base percentage has been pretty good all year. He's drawn 73 walks. The on base percentage at .393. And in the month of August, he's starting to turn it on.
2 balls, no strikes. Strike call. Knobloch leading it off. 2 balls and a strike. Line shot right field. Well, with all these talks and rumors and speculated trades, how about Knobloch from the Twins to the Cubs? That would look pretty good.
I don't think you're going to see that anytime soon. They signed him to a long-term deal, and he's the cornerstone of this franchise.
The only guys we want are guys we can't get. Runner on at first. A little bit outside. Well, just because he signed a long-term contract, they could still trade him.
As long as you're wishing, why don't you ask for Ken Griffey Jr.? Get an equal chance to get him.
Yeah, look what the Pirates did, my friend, and they're still in the race. They got rid of all their good ball players. Here's the pitch, low and outside. And look at the, nobody talks about the Angels. They beat the Giants last night, 7-4, and they're only trailing star-studded Seattle by 1 game in the American League West. After suffering an ungodly number of injuries. Well, on Nissan, trivia question, it's about time. Who holds the Twins record for most career 2-home run games? Oh. Here's the pitch inside.
I'll say Harmon Killebrew.
I'm going to say Kent Herbeck. Should have said Kirby Higby. Pickett. Herbie Pickett. 3 balls, no strikes. The outfield straight away. There goes Knobloch. Here's the throw. He's saved.
Well, running on the 3-0 count is unusual, but Chuck Knobloch got a very good jump, and he steals his 53rd base of the year. You know you're going to see a fastball 3-0. It was in the zone, and the tag not in time. It's on the posterior, which means that the hand has to be on the bag. The call by Bill Hahn.
Isn't Ken Griffey Jr. Doesn't he have a contract? Ball 4, and Breedy gets a base on ball. Isn't his contract run out this year?
No, I don't believe so. No, I think they have him for a few more after this one.
I thought the rumor was around that he would be traded to the Reds if his dad became manager at Cincinnati.
Well, you can rumor a lot of things, but I don't think they're trading him anytime soon. Not with 44 home runs.
Well, Mark McGuire is 41. What's he got? 41. He was traded. By the way, St. Louis leads the White Sox 1-0 at the end of 3.
Well, McGuire was going to be a free agent and was a few years older than Junior.
Just a few. Runners at first and second. Paul Molitor, who batted in the first round with a beautiful squeeze play bunt. Swings and he misses.
With runners on, Molitor has been much more impressive. He's always been a very good contact hitter. And they don't get any smarter as a ball player than Paul Molitor. He just has a great feel for the game.
Men on first and second. Nobody out. Line drive, base hit, right field. They're going to hold him up, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. Sammy Sosa playing him kind of shallow. Pounced on the ball, didn't field it cleanly, but he regained it in a hurry.
There's Molitor taking the outside pitch to right field, which is what you're supposed to do, by Sandberg. Sammy has some problems with it, but not enough to score Knobloch. And so Steve Traxel in a jam.
And the bases are loaded, and their cleanup hitter, Ron Coomer.
The bases loaded. He has had quite a year at 417.
Hitting .308. Bases loaded. Infield back. Almost hit a ball 1.
Coomer doesn't have particularly good speed. He's grounded into 9 double plays. And the Cubs will gladly trade the double play for the run to try to stay out of the big inning if they can get the ground ball.
Lovely day at the ballpark. 1 ball, no strikes. Strike called over the outside corner. Well, the Pirates made another one in the bottom of the 6th against Cleveland, who now leads 7-5 at the end of 6th. Boy, those Pirates battle everybody. Bases loaded. A little bit low. Ball 2. Paul Molitor and Ryan Sandberg, sure to be Hall of Famers. Molitor 2 out of 2 today. Line shot in the center field, gonna be caught, but a run will score, and runners go to first and third. The runner on first, Molitor, did not advance. Knobloch did score after the catch, and Brady went from second to third.
Second sacrifice fly in a row for Kumarez, 63 driven in. I think Paul Molitor a little disappointed in himself not running on Lance Johnson. That throw was off the mark at second, but Molitor went about a third of the way. Lance got it into second, which he should do, but with that turn, made it very difficult to make an accurate throw.
So it's 3-2 now. There's Terry Steinbach, the catcher. Breaking ball low and away. Cleveland did not score in the top of the 7th. And the Pirates, 2 runs behind, are now batting. Milwaukee playing in Houston, no score in the 3rd. Oh, boy, he had a good cut, but he fouled it back.
Well, Steinbach has grounded into 14 double plays. In fact, he leads the club in that department.
That's what happens when you're a catcher. You hit into a lot of double play. The spring disappears from your legs. One ball, 1 strike. Whoa, look out. 2 balls and the strike. Well, the rooftops are well filled today. And the sailboats are really out in goodly numbers today. The Twins with runners at first and third. High inside, ball 3.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they run with Molitor. He used to be quite a base stealer. He's stolen 8 bases, been caught 4 times. And it probably will be a nice time for him to take off, although Steinbach has spanned 87 times, so he does swing and miss quite a bit. And he might have a shot if Molitor does go.
Bouncing foul, he wasn't going. You know, it's hard to believe that Molitor is 41 years old. He's a well-conditioned, well-preserved, very youthful young man. But as baseball age goes, way up there. Throw to first, runner back. You got your white shoes on, Arnie? Labor Day, throw them away after today. There's a high there, he goes breaking, but this pitch is fouled off. The Red Sox have taken a 2-1 lead in the top of the 6th. at Montreal. Terry Steinbach, 3-2 the count. There goes Molitor. The pitch fouled off again. 1 out, 3-2. If they strike him out, they're almost a cinch to throw him out. The Molitor was not running very hard, kept looking back. Traxel gets set. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded with 1 out. And Marty Cordova, who was called out on strikes his first time up. Here comes Phil Regan again.
Nobody up in the bullpen, so Phil Regan just trying to calm down Steve Traxel, who's walked a couple this inning, 3 overall. And he caught Cordova looking in the first inning. Cordova by now knows that the outside corner a little bit wider, perhaps, with the National League umpire behind the plate.
Rookie Morris pitching for the Cardinals. Jens Drabak for the White Sox. 1-0 St. Louis, bottom of the 4th. In St. Louis. A little bit low and outside, a breaking ball. Cordova hitting only .240 with 11 homers. The outfield straight away. Strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. I would imagine Sean Dunson's playing for the Pirates today.
70 pitches already for Steve Traxel with 1 out in the 3rd. And that is a whopping total early.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ball too high. Two balls and the strike. Fouled it out of play off to the right. Does it just seem like Traxel's working slowly?
He was working fast before they got on base. Unfortunately, they've been on base quite a bit.
He has walked 2 this inning, 1 in the 1st. So a total of 3 bases on balls. Way low and outside, ball 3. 1 out. Nobody's up in the bullpen. Having said that, they get up. 3-2.
Well, Kent Bonfield is still not here today. He will rejoin the club tomorrow. And so Dave Stevens getting a lot of work.
Foul tip. The crowd roared thinking a fan, but he tipped it foul. Kent, a Bonfield boy, son was born. They named him Eli. I can predict sometime in the future he'll open up a steakhouse called Eli's. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases loaded. High pop foul, out of play.
Kurt Schilling has 15 strikeouts through 7 innings in New York. So once again, well over 10 for Schilling, who's, I believe, done it 16 times this year.
It's at Philadelphia, but it is against the Yankees. He's an amazing pitcher. 3-2, 1 out, bases loaded. Chuck him out. Cordova goes down swinging. 2 out. Here's Rich Becker.
Well, he uses the good forkball on Marty Cordova. The bottom fell out of this one. He thinks it's a fastball. It dives out of the zone, and for the second time, he goes down on strike.
Becker, who fly deep to center his first time up. Out of Aurora, now lives in Florida. 3-2 in favor of the Twins. Long foul ball out of play into the stand. Boy, but the only empty seats are in the corners. It must be around 35,000 plus. Cubs only need 160,000 to go over the 2 million mark for the year. 0-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Becker. Brent Breedy at third. Molitor at second. Steinbach at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Walk ball in there for a strike call. They're in the bottom of the 8th in Pittsburgh with the Indians leading by 2, 7-5. There comes, struck him out to retire the side. But 1 run scores. There were 2 hits and 3 men left. And we go in the bottom of the 3rd. The Cubs now trail 3-2. We're going into the bottom of the 3rd. Well, a message from Captain Tom Prendergast at Firehouse Engine number 78, which is right across Wayman Avenue from the ballpark. Here's a pitch in there, ball and a strike. There they are, 47 friends and families are at the game today. Here's a base hit up the middle by Granville. Granville opens the 3rd with a single to center. Captain Tom Prendergast tells us that Madeline and Kevin Trent got married Saturday. They're having a wedding party out here at the ball game today and leaving after the game for a honeymoon in Ireland. Then they go out to live in California. But they're loyal Cub fans. Hey, living in, they're going to Ireland on their honeymoon. I wonder if they're going to use Jim Murphy's castle out there. Of Murphy's Bleachers, you know, the popular saloon across from the center field scoreboard. A lot of his friends use that castle, and they say that's really something. 1 ball, 1 strike. A little bit outside. Well, anyway, congratulations, Captain, to Madeline and Kevin Trent. T-R-A-N-T. Many happy, happy years. That's Murphy's castle in Ireland. He just flew it in. 2 balls and a strike. Outside. You didn't know we had a camera in Ireland, did you, Arnie? 3 balls and a strike.
Well, you might see Glanville going. Grace usually makes contact. And Robertson thinks he is going. He does know the bullpen is up and going for the first time today.
Grace walked his first time and scored ahead of Sammy Sosa, who walloped the 31st homer. Ball 4, and here's Sammy again. Runners on at first and second, nobody out.
For a chance to win a brand new Nissan Altima on a dream day at Wrigley Field, write down today's trivia answer, send it along with your name, age, address, and phone number to Ultimate Dream Day, and the address on your screen.
Here's a Nissan question, and we showed it to you before. Harmon Killebrew.
Well, I figured he hit so many of them, Harry, that he'd have to have multi-homer games, and it was Harmon, who was in the Hall of Fame, and a wonderful man who lives down in the Phoenix, Arizona area.
Here's Sammy's 31st home run of the season in the first inning into the shrubbery in center field. Boy, they've had some home run hitters down through the years at Minnesota. I remember Bob Allison. He was at the same time as Killebrew. They made up that 1-2 home run punch. And Antonio Oliva. And so many of them. Always had home run hitters in their lineup. Here's Sammy. He gets away from Steinbach. It'll be a pass ball. It was eye high, but the way he went after him might indicate that he was crossed up.
Steinbach's having a tough day. This is up there, but again, he probably should have made the catch. And it goes as a second pass ball.
I can imagine catching is tough for anybody, but to be catching a pitcher like Robertson, here's the pitch high and inside. He's walked 2 and he's hit 1. We're only in the 3rd. Cubs trailing by a run, but runners at second and third with nobody out. Double ground ball, runner scores, a throw to first. Glanville crosses the plate. Grace held up. Good thing that pass ball. That would have been a made-to-order double play.
RBI 105, and it would have been a tailor-made too, but the pass ball put an end to all of that. Meares makes the play easily.
Sosa now has 31 homers and 105 RBI. And the Cubs have tied it up at 3. Here's Sandberg. A little bit inside. Boy, oh boy. in there for a strike call. One pitch. Smash into left field. A base hit. A run will score. Mark Grace with breaking on the pitch. I don't know whether they hit and run or whether he was just going to steal third. But now the Cubs lead 4-3.
Rhino drives in run number 54, and he crushes this one. Robertson doesn't have too much, and he's not going to throw any more today. As with a 1-1 deficit, Rich Robertson will exit the ball game.
And that's all for him. Sandberg just drove in his 54th run of the year. We'll be back with more in a moment. You know, watching this pitching, it's no wonder that the Atlanta Braves have already committed themselves to $38 million to make sure that they keep Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, Nagel, and the relief pitcher Wohlers.
Well, you can understand that. That's one of the reasons for the trade of both Grissom and Justice to Cleveland. They wanted to free up some money to sign Glavine and Maddox long term. And Todd Ritchie comes into the ball game at 2-3, 5.02 ERA, 10 wild pitches in 57 1/3 innings. A couple of guys there that have played a few years between them. And although Sandberg will probably go into the Hall of Fame first because he's retiring first, I assume Paul Molitor will stay around another year or two. But they both will find their way to Cooperstown before it's all said and done.
2 runs are home. Cubs now lead 4-3. Pitch high inside. The White Sox have taken a 3-2 lead in St. Louis. Cleveland still leading 7-5 at Pittsburgh. The White Sox scored those 3 runs. Drabek, the pitcher, drove in 2 of them with a triple. And they lead 4-2. That's helping your own cause.
The only starter with a winning record for the Minnesota Twins has been Brad Radke, and he's been magnificent at 18-7. Everybody else well under 500.
Inside. Molitor is playing first base. Sandberg, the runner there. High, pop fly. Short right field. And is caught by Knobloch. 2 away. 4-3 in favor of the Cubs.
Knobloch playing his first game here. A little trouble with the high skies, and he has to make the basket catch, and it's not too sure, but it is effective.
So they're 2 away. There's a high drive going to be caught in center field. Becker under the ball, and Service is retired. To end the inning, but the Cubs scored 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 man left. At the end of 3, the Cubs are out in front, 4-3. 15 times. High pop foul out of play. Cleveland batting in the top of the 9th. leading Pittsburgh 7-5.
Okay.
Now ready? Inside, 2 balls and a strike. We're in the top of the 4th. Cubs leading 4-3. He's from Minnesota and lets everybody know he's a Cubs fan. Two balls and a strike. A little bit low, ball 3. My 3-year-old grandson, Brendan Newell, I think he loves every firehouse he sees. When he comes to the ballpark, he insists on his mother taking him by the firehouse. Here's the pitch. There goes a runner. Ball 4. He has drawn a base on ball.
Well, the danger there, if it sails into center field on an unnecessary throw, then Knobloch would have gone to third. Alexander did a nice job of coming across and stopping that ball from going into center. Scott Service didn't want to do any umpiring, so he gets off a quick throw, and Alexander barely able to get this one in the glove. Hollider's always had such a short swing, and that's what's kept him around all these years. He's very compact. He stands very quiet at the plate, and he's got a short, quick swing. It's hard to get inside on him, and for years he's been one of the toughest outs in the American League. But this is his first official game at Wrigley Field after all these years.
Molitor with runners at first and second. Pitch low and away. Ball 1. Molitor went to the University of Minnesota, I believe.
Yes, he did.
Dave Winfield also went there and was a great hitter. Just retired last year before. Fouled it out of play, and the count is evened up, a ball and a strike. The first hit he got was off Mike Flanagan. The second one off Roger Clemens, his 1500th one. His 2000 off Brett Saberhagen. And his 3000 off Jose Rosado. Strike 2 call. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Bill Veeck would have had a few more bucks, Harry. Paul Molitor's career might have changed substantially.
Yeah. Bouncing ball is short. Alexander to Sandberg for the force out. No hits, no run. 2 men are left. We go in the bottom of the 4th. 4-3 Chicago. Eric Caray back at Wrigley Field. You know, Steve, talking to Veeck after he sold the ball club, a lot of things, he's such an interesting guy to be around. But he always faulted himself for 1 year that he could have stolen a pennant. Here's Manny Alexander, first pitch, high pop fly. Meares, left fielder, now takes it. And Cordova retires Alexander. That was the year when Alan Bannister was a fine hitting shortstop, but he had a sore shoulder. And during the month of September, Veeck said what he should have done is pick up any guy, and there are many of them available, even though they couldn't hit it all, somebody who could throw the ball from shortstop, because the White Sox were making enough runs to win, and you should know you're a member of that ball club. And of all the things that happened to Bill Beck, it's strange that that's one thing that he always remembered and never would forget.
That was 1977 with the Southside Hitmen. And everything went well for us till about the first week of August, and things started to slip away, and Kansas City made a great stretch run. But had he had a few more bucks, he had the #1 draft choice, but he knew that Paul Molitor would be more expensive than Harold Baines.
Well, they were both. Turned out to be great ball players. 3 balls, no strikes on Steve Traxel. And Traxel on 4 pitches walked. Todd Ritchie's on the hill for Minnesota. You know, looking up at that scoreboard, you can see Milwaukee and Houston, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, New York just beaten by Philadelphia, Toronto at Shea Stadium. Here's Lance Johnson, a high fly ball in the left center field. Cordova grabs it, 2 out. I don't know about that interleague play. It's sure going to take some getting to know you, as it were. It looks strange to see American League teams match against National League teams. Kansas City leading at Cincinnati 7-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Doug Landale is 1 out of 2, scored a run in the 3rd. Night game tomorrow night, starting at 7 o'clock. Bob Tewksbury against Mark Clark. Tewksbury's been outstanding.
Well, interesting matchup, because Tewksbury certainly has spent a lot of time in the National League and was a former Cub. And Mark Clark spent a lot of time in the American League. So they'll know each team pretty well.
Here's a strike call. Let's pause for identification.
This is WGN-TV, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Harry Caray back to the ballpark. Mesa is relieved for Cleveland in the 9th, and Pittsburgh base hit. Glanville singles to left. Glanville now has 124 hits.
In 124 games.
27 of those hits have been for extra bases. 18 doubles, 5 triples, and 4 homers. There's a drive in the center field for Grace. A base hit to throw to third base. Wild into the stands. And 2 runs scored. Grace single to center. Driving in Traxel. Trying for Glanville at third. He threw the ball into the grandstand over the dugout.
Rich Becker commits error number 5 as he airmails Coomer at third. He thinks he's got a shot at Glanville and winds up throwing it to Glanville's passes.
Well, that's about as wild a throw from the outfield as you can make. Look at this.
RBI number 63 for Mark Grace, and that is a souvenir for a Cub fan.
6-3 in favor of the Cubs. And here's Sammy. Rich Todd. A bit inside. Rich Becker. The ball must have slipped out of his hand. That was like a forward pass from end zone to end zone. Sammy. Drove in 2 runs with a homer in the first. With a ground out, he drove in 1 run in the third. Swung and he missed. One ball, 1 strike. Mesa has gone in to pitch for Cleveland. I think they've used 5 pitches, and they had a 4-0 lead to start with. Then led 6-2. Then 7-3. Then 7-4. Then 7-5. Where it is now. Pitch is low. 2 balls and a strike. Big crowd on hand. Sammy Sosa, 1 out of 2 today. Low ball, 3 into the dirt, 3-1. The Mets are shutting out Toronto in the bottom of the 8th. Three balls and the strike. He walked. Whoa! Oh, yeah. He shouldn't have started walking to first. Maybe that's why he called it Gary Davis. That would seem to be way outside, but it's strike 2 call. Cubs lead 6-3. Struck him out. That was right over the outside corner to end the inning. But 2-run score on 2 hits, 1 big error, and 1 man left. At the end of 4, the Cubs lead. Makes his home in Orland Park. Swings and fouls it back. Terry Steinbeck bounced out and walked. Curveball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the top of the 5th. Kathy Kerr showing us a aesthetic bit of domesticity. Cleaning up a glass full of water, which has been spilled over all my papers. Only she could do such a good job. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Put her on, Arnie. Boy, that water was cold, too. It's all over my pants. Steinbeck. Base hit left field. And the Twins have runners at first and second. With Marty Cordova coming up. Twice he has struck out.
Kids call 188 Cubs fan and become a member of the Halo Chicago Cubs Kids Club. Join today and receive an official membership card along with Cubs cap, sunglasses, calculator, notebook, pen, 2 tickets to a future Cub game, and much more. That's the Halo Cubs Kids Club at 1-888-CUBS-FAN. Call and join today.
Stevens getting ready for the Cubs. He was obtained from Minnesota. High fly ball, going to be caught by Glanville in left. 1 away. Cordova flies out to Glanville in left field, and that brings up Rich Becker. If he should happen to hit one as far as he threw it last inning, it'll be a tied-up ball game. I noticed after Becker had thrown the ball, he kind of kept dangling his fingers as if it slipped out of his hand. Becker 0 for 2. Pitch outside.
Bullpen up and going once again for Minnesota as they get down closer to the spot occupied by Ritchie.
Well, Jose Mesa did the relief job. He got the Pirates out in the bottom of the 9th, and Cleveland has won its ball game 7-5. And Milwaukee leads in Houston 4. Make that 3-1. Runners at first and second, 1 away. Hot shot to Grace, over to second for 1. Over to first, not in time. The play is 3-6 for the force out of Steinbeck.
Good throw by Mark Grace and a nice return throw by Manny Alexander. But Becker hustling down the line, able to just beat the play at first.
That's the thing that Mark does so well. Getting the angle for the throw at second base. A lot of first basemen will hit the runner, but he always takes a step to either one side or the other, make sure he has a clear angle. There's a strike call. Pat Meares, the shortstop. He's 0 for 2. Hitting .273 with 8 homers. Traxel leading, going for victory number 7. Curveball in there, a beauty. Philadelphia beat the Yankees 5-1. Cleveland down Pittsburgh 7-5. Milwaukee at Houston leads 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Foul ball back out of play. Montreal has just tied up the Red Sox 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th. Night game tomorrow night. Ball outside. 7 o'clock broadcast. Telecast. One ball, 2 strikes. Whoa, look out. Way back. It might be. It could be. It is. Listen to the Minnesota fans.
Home run number 9, RBIs 51, 52, and 53. And just like that, the lead is gone as Pat Meares takes a forkball deep. And
No
Steve
doubt about
Traxel,
it.
who has given up a few this year, gives up number 28. And even the wind couldn't hold up that one. We'll watch it again. Traxel's given up a lot of long fly balls today, but the wind has been able to bat them down, but not this one. Into the seats.
So this game is tied up 6-6. We're in the top of the 5th. Todd Ritchie, the pitcher, takes a pitch low and away. Kansas City defeated Cincinnati 7-4. One ball, one strike. He swings and he misses. The ball game is almost 2 hours old. Ball low and away. We're in the top of the 5th. We're not even halfway home. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled the pitch back. I trust you didn't have anything to do tonight anyway. Huh?
Now,
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 3 in. Ball 3. Boy, oh boy. How many hitters does he have a 3-2 count on?
well, he has thrown a tremendous amount of pitches through 5.
Swings, fouls it back. Todd Ritchie handles the bat pretty well. Boy, there's a man that you really got a feel for. Jim Riggleman. Bouncing ball to short. Manny Alexander over to first to retire the side. And 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors and nobody left. And going to the bottom of the 5th, a brand new ball game, 6-6. Wrigley Field, as we go down to the bottom of the 6th, Sandberg will lead it off. He's 1 out of 2. You know, Johnson, and who, let's see now. Here's the pitch. Curveball in there. Who in the American League has almost 300 strikeouts?
Well, Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling are very close.
Schilling
to
in
one
the
another.
National League, yeah.
Yes.
There's a pitch swung and missed. Oh, 0-2 the count. The Mets shut out Toronto 3-0. Strike 3 call.
The last 2 strikeouts by Ritchie, called thirds right down the middle, and Rhino just got outguessed. He saw a steady diet of breaking balls and then the fastball, and he couldn't pull the trigger.
You know, Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson both are going to finish over 300 strikeouts, and Schilling may do it in the National League. That hasn't been done too often, has it?
Well, in the day and age, Harry, of 5 starters, it hasn't. It used to be done, if not routinely, more often when they used 4 starting pitchers. You got a chance to pitch a little bit more, but not anymore.
Boy, every time you look at that strikeout total and see Nolan Ryan, you wonder, how in the world can anybody else get that many?
Well, he threw for so many years and threw so hard. And Steve Carlton, of course, had a lot of strikeouts. But I don't think you'll see anybody stay around that long anymore. Not and keep that kind of velocity with the great slider of Carlton and the great fastball of Nolan Ryan.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ori waiting.
David Wild, the zone manager of Chrysler Plymouth Corporation, on hand today.
Two balls and a strike. Bottom of the 5th. 3-1 on Ori. He's 0 for 2 today. Scott Service would be next. Try call. Three and 2. The outfield straight away and deep. Low, ball 4, and Ori's on.
Well, Steve Kratz already has 120 pitches through 5, so you wonder how long they will go with him. And most likely, if they get down to his spot in the batting order, they might go to the bench at this point. That's a lot of pitches through 5 innings.
The bullpen starts working for the Cubs.
Good hit and run situation for Jim Riggleman with Scott Service up. He's done it very well this year.
1 out, 1 on. Curveball low. The third baseman came charging in as Service shortened up as if to bunt. 6-6 tie. Curveball outside and low.
The Sox and St. Louis tied up at 3 heading into the 8th inning in a big game for St. Louis. They came in only 7 games back. Dave Stevens continues to loosen in the pen.
2 balls, no strikes. Long miss, the runner going. He is going to be out. Knobloch made a fine glove hand pickup on the run.
Well, they used the hit and run, and although there was no hit, there was a run. The run turned into an out. The bat went into the stands. Chuck Knobloch comes up, makes the good tag on Kevin Ori, and the bat goes flying and is returned to Scott Service. And Ori gunned down for the 2nd time this year. And that fan got it off the elbow, and his son got a souvenir.
If he'd have hit the ball as far as he threw the bat, we'd have another run home. 2 balls and a strike. 2 out. Scott Service. Line drive into left field, a base hit. Service singles the left. That couldn't have happened a bit earlier. There's Manny Alexander. Was hit by a pitch ball his first time. Flat out his next time. Boy, that Milwaukee team hanging in the American League Central race pretty tough. Pitch low and outside. Cleveland already has won its game. They now lead Milwaukee by 4 and the White Sox by 4.5. 1 ball, no strike.
Bullpen up and going. A left-hander in case Dave Clark is called on to pinch hit.
Curveball low, ball 2. We're in the bottom of the 5th.
Travis Miller starting to loosen.
There's a line drive in the right field, should be caught. Greedy grabs it to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 5, we're tied at 6. Fan Appreciation Weekend. But the Sandberg celebration officially will be Saturday, September the 20th.
Dave Stevens comes in at 1-4, 8.44 ERA. Had a good appearance in Cleveland his last time out. And looking for more of the same here, and he's responsible for this game. The starter's no longer a factor. Both of them off the hook.
And Chuck Knobloch will lead it off. He's been on base every time. Stevens pitch. Good fastball. Knobloch walked and scored, singled and scored, and hit by a pitch ball and did not score.
Minnesota released Stevens, so you know he's psyched up to face his former mates. And he threw 2 good fastballs to Knobloch.
0-2 the count. Fouled it back.
Top of the order's been tough. Knobloch has been on 3 times. Brent Brady has been on 3 times. And Molitor has been on a couple times.
Stevens stands 6'3", out of Fullerton, California. 27 years old. Foul ball out of play. Montreal defeated Boston 4-2 final. The Mets over Toronto 3-0 final. Phillies over the Yankees 5-1 final. Cleveland over Pittsburgh 7-5 final. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Milwaukee leading at Houston 3-1 at the end of 6. Knobloch, the second baseman, a good one, hitting .295 with 9 homers. Bouncing ball to short. Alexander throws them out. Charging the ball, scooping it up and throwing.
Well, Manny knew that Knobloch gets down the line in a hurry, so you have to be aggressive on this high infield grass, and he came across, made a pretty slick play.
One man out. Brent Brady has been on base every time with a single and 2 walks. He scored once. In there for his strike call. We're in the 6th. That looks pretty good. There's a high fly ball deep right center. I don't think anybody can reach it. They can't. And it's a base hit for Breedy with one away.
Be sure not to miss the WB tonight on WGN at 7. It's a critically acclaimed Aaron Spelling drama, Seventh Heaven. Then at 8, America's favorite creature of the night is on the move and taking on the netherworld's toughest customers, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It all starts tonight at 7 right here on WGN Channel 9.
So there's a runner on at first base, 1 out. And here is Paul Molitor, 2 out of 3. Every hit adds to the great career total, which right now is 3,288. There goes a runner. There's a throw. In there for a stolen base.
Well, Stevens paid no attention to Brady, and he took off, and he stole that easily. That's stolen base number 5. The long, slow delivery of Dave Stevens allowed Brady easily into second. He hooks the base with his hand, which you have to do if you go head first. And he represents a go-ahead run.
Brady now has been on base 4 times today. 2 hits, 2 walks. Molitor. Hot shot. Up with it is Alexander. Fires to first for the out, holding a runner at second. 2 away.
Molitor hits this ball hard, but Manny Alexander right there with the backhand pickup. Got a very strong arm, and he fires it across, and that's that.
Here's Ron Coomer, who's driven in 2 runs with sacrifice flies and scored a 3rd run after a base hit. So he's accounted for half of their 6 runs. 2 out. Hot shot right to Ori. He's got it. Throw to first for the out. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We're going to bottom of the 6th, tied at 6.
Molitor hasn't been down there too often, obviously, as a designated hitter in the American League. And he hasn't had really any pressure put on him. The Cubs have not tried to bunt that way, but Molitor's done a nice job at first.
The Florida Marlins, trailing Atlanta by 4.5, just scored 3 in the first against Baltimore in Florida. 3-0 Marlins. Oh, 1 to count, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. Ground ball. Meares has it. The throw in time. 2 up, 2 down. And here's Glanville. Glanville has 2 out of 3. And he has scored twice. Takes the first pitch low. 1 ball, no strike. 2 men are out. Nobody on. A little bit outside and low. Same 2 teams tomorrow night in a night game starting at 7 o'clock. Two balls and the strike. Anaheim trailing Seattle in the American League West by only 1 game. Here's the pitch inside. 3 balls and the strike.
The White Sox have taken a 4-3 lead over the Cardinals in a pretty big game for both teams.
3 balls and the strike. Fouls it off. Cleveland is sure to hold its lead today, where it is right now, which is 3.5 over Milwaukee and 4 over the White Sox. They've already won their game. Fouls it back. The White Sox leading in St. Louis. You know, the Cardinals could still make a run. A victory today could pull them within 6 games. Houston having trouble. Fouled it off his foot, off his leg, feeling the thigh actually above the knee. Dave Trumpus comes out. There's veteran Tom Kelly of the Minnesota Twins, a wonderful man, and Jim Riggleman, an outstanding manager who has very little to work with this year. And I don't think he can answer the questions any better than anybody else. I think everybody before this season started, they would have a contender here at Wrigley Field. You went down the lineup, it looked like a fine ball club. The question mark then was pitching. Actually, the pitching's been better than the hitting. The inability of them to engender any power up and down their lineup. Sosa's the only man who produces a long ball. Sammy has 31. Johnson has 3. Glanville has 4. That's 7. Grace has 10. That's 17. Sandberg has 10. That's 27. Ori has. There's a ground ball to right, a base hit for Glanville. And there's his 3rd straight hit.
Well, Doug Glanville takes one right off the ground. This is going to be ball 4, but instead it goes to his 3rd hit. And they don't get much lower than that and stay out of the dirt. But Doug able to get the head of the bat on the ball. 3 straight singles, and that's probably going to be it for Ritchie.
One thing about it, maybe a walk is no different than a hit with nobody on base. But it certainly gets more dollar signs on the contract when it comes up to signing. They recognize base hits, not as much base on ball. We'll be back in a moment.
My name is Marjorie. I'm 65 and on Medicare.
The right-hander comes in to pitch for the Twins.
Probably spanned 65 and 74 in the 3rd innings, giving up 7 home runs and thrown 3 wild pitches as he comes on for the 58th time. So he's been used pretty well out of that bullpen. And for the American League, in a small ballpark, a respectable 4.12 ERA. And Mark Grace will be the first man he looks at. And let's see if they decide to run with Doug Glanville, who will be looking for stolen base number 20.
Glanville will be up in that 55, 60 stolen base predicament for the opposition in due time. 2 out, a runner at first. Line drive foul. He hit that ball right on the button. It just tailed off foul. Grace has been on every time up. 2 walks and a single. He scored 2 runs. 2 men are out. Glanville at first. 3 out of 4 today. High. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the bottom of the 6th. Outside. Grace. A well-disciplined hitter. He's walked 79 times this year. Line drive to retire the side. Knobloch right at him. A line drive to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 6, still tied up at 6. Barry Caray and Steve Stone at Wrigley Field. Night game tomorrow night. Bob Tewksbury will pitch against the Cubs. I see he's still at it. He's walked 26 men in 133 innings. He's amazing. Here's Steinbach to lead it off. Six tie. Steinbach 1 out of 2. High pop foul out of play into the stand. One ball, 1 strike. Long drive, right center field, way back, ninth play. Sammy Sosa reaching over his shoulder, backhanded grab of a viciously hit line drive.
Terry Steinbach thought he probably had a double on this one, but Sammy gets a good break on the ball and runs it down.
The wind might have helped him a little bit, too.
I think the wind has helped a few times today.
So there's 1 out. Here's Marty Cordova. Cordova, 0 for 3. He bunts foul. After you strike out and flat out, I guess you try to bunt. He did and fouled the pitch. How'd you find that hat? He's got a Cub hat on too, doesn't he? Swung and he missed. Marty Cordova, left fielder. Good crowd on hand. The rooftops well populated. The barbecues are going full steam ahead. And a little cold Budweiser or 2. A looping liner in the right field, a base hit. That ball hit so softly, Sandberg ran out, picked it up where it come to a dead halt between he and Sosa. And here's Rich Becker.
Bullpen up and going once again. Looks like Ramon Tatis.
Well, to see where Larry Walker hit a couple of home runs last night. His 39th and 40th. And now he and Tony Gwynns are in a first place tie for the batting title, each hitting .386. Becker takes it high. It's raining in Florida. The Marlins have a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the second, and the game's delayed by rain.
Well, it's close to 5 o'clock. It's usually raining in Florida at this time.
Line drive, base hit. There's a run around to third. Becker rounds first but changes his mind. Mark Grace dived for the lunge for the ball, couldn't reach it. Runners at first and third, one away.
First hit for Becker. He gets it off the end of the bat by a lunging Mark Grace. Cordova goes all the way to third, and now runners at the corners for the man whose 3-run homer tied up the score, Pat Meares. And the bullpen up and going once again for Minnesota.
And Dave Stevens in trouble.
Riggleman wants the bullpen to hurry up. And now Patterson has joined Tatis. So dueling left-handers in the pen for the Cubs.
All right, the huddle is breaking up.
Greg Swindell, who has been around a long time, loosening up in the pen. And he has found a home in the bullpen for Minnesota. That's 7-3.
Jim Riggleman out there now, giving the bullpen further chance to get ready.
Riggs is probably waiting for Jerry Davis to come walking out, and that's what he's doing. He's had his say, talking about the defense of a possible double steal. Becker has very good speed, 14 stolen bases. That places him second on the club. And I think he was talking about what they plan to do in case Becker takes off.
Marty Cordova's the third. Rich Becker's at first. The first ball was hit like a bullet in this inning, caught by Sammy Sosa on the run. Meares hit a 3-run homer in the fifth. Infield back for a double play. Pulled the ball foul. Outside third. And Scott Olger, the third base coach, flips it into the stand for a youngster for a souvenir. Inside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mark Grace with the number 12 for the just traded Sean Dunston. And if they put numbers for every guy traded, they would have no hat space left.
Fouled it back, out of play. Here's our opening day lineup. There's the fellas who are not with us anymore. Castillo, Dunston, McRae, Rojas, Sanchez, Wendell, Cashin, Mulholland. Option Iowa, Brown and Schwartzball. You know, it's been so long since Dallas Green was around here, and he and Gordy Goldsberry, who won the first division title for Chicago and then added another one. And one wonders what would have happened if Dallas stayed in charge of the ball club. Ground ball bounces to the shortstop. Everybody's going to be safe.
Well, that goes as a base hit as Meares has driven in his 4th run of the ball game. That one bounced straight up in the air off the mound or off of Dave Stevens. Manny Alexander had to wait for it to come down. And you see it right off the heel of Stevens. And it goes as RBI number 54. And the Twins take the lead.
You know, I can't believe a ball could hit you in the heel and bounce that high. But apparently it did. It could have hit the rubber, too.
And that's going to be it for Dave Stevens.
I know one thing. The Cubs no longer leading. They're trailing by a run. And a new pitcher coming in. We'll tell you more about it in a moment.
Among the league leaders, certainly the leader of this staff in appearances. 53 2/3 innings, given up 8 home runs, walked only 10 men, and fanned 53, and he inherits twins at first and second. The Cubs looking up at a 1-run deficit.
For a relief pitcher, he's given up 8 home runs, and that's a little bit on the negative side. Let's pause here for our identification.
This is WGN-TV, Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
We're going to have a pinch hitter here.
Damian Miller coming on to pinch hit. Hitting .304 in just 11 games, and only his second pinch hitting opportunity.
Runners at first and second. Run home, 7-6, Minnesota. Double play ball. Out at second for 1. Out at third for 2. Patterson made 1 pitch. And Miller grounded into a double play. 4, 6, 3. 1 run. 3 hits. No errors. 1 left. We go in the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs trail by 1. Starting pitcher for years. Here's Sammy hitting a high foul ball back. Might be playable. Nope. Into the stands it goes. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Sammy has faced Swindell a lot, 37 times. He does have a home run off him, hitting .270, 10 for 37. And just as we mentioned that, it pops up on the screen like a miracle.
1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch. Outside, ball 2. Milwaukee's still ahead of Houston, 3-1. Houston batting in the bottom of the 8th. White Sox have a 4-3 lead. It's now tied up 4-4 in the 9th. The White Sox have been leading by 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sammy Sosa, who hit a 2-run homer in the 1st, also batted in a run in the 3rd.
The guy on the Cubs with the best career numbers against Greg Swindell is a man in the on-deck circle, Ryan Sandberg, hitting .364 against him.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball towards right field. Base hit. Knobloch went over to his left, but could not come up with a ball. A base hit for Sosa. Every game that Swindell has pitched in has been in relief. He's only started 1 ball game for the Twins. Sandberg with a runner at first. The tying run. High fastball. Rhino looks down at Dan Radisson, the third base coach. Marco Olivares coaching in first. In there, a strike call. Well, I tell you, Marco is a very popular man in Puerto Rico. So many people have written to me and have talked to me at the restaurant, always mentioning Marco Olivares. 1 ball, 1 strike. Throw to first, runner back. There's Rhino. There is Arnie's shadow. Will Rhino hit one there? Sosa picked out first. He's out.
Well, Sammy looking for
3-6.
that 30 stolen base mark, continues to run the Cubs out of innings. And there is a good pickoff move by Swindell, and Sammy is out dead to right.
So there's 2 away. Sandberg. Pitch a little bit low. 2 balls and the strike. Sosa started with a single, out trying to steal. Being picked off. 1-3-6. And Rhino trying to get something else started. 1 out. Nobody on. I wonder what that costs an hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball. They off the third baseman's glove. And Sandberg probably will be credited with a hit. It is. So he singles off the third baseman.
This would have been a very difficult play for Coomer. He came across. Even if he makes the play, he's got to throw Sandberg out from foul territory. And I don't think he could have done it from back there. But it's a moot point as Rhino picks up his second single.
So Coomer got his glove on the ball but could not make a play, and rightfully Sandberg gets credit for a base hit. High pop foul out of play. Ori had a good cut. So the Cubs started with a base hit. Sosa was picked off. Then Sandberg gets an infield hit. High fly ball, right field. Reedy getting under the ball, makes the catch.
Ordonez hit a home run for the White Sox, and they lead 5-4 in the top of the 9th over St. Louis.
Good. Ori flies to Brady. Here's Scott Service.
Bullpen up and going once again for the Cubs, and it's Mark Peixoto.
Two men are out. One man is on. Service swings and he misses. You know, I don't care what the White Sox did. They did give away probably their chances of winning this year, but you never know. They've only lost one game since they made all those trades, and they've come up with some other ball players who are proving they could win in the major leagues. So if you're willing to give up a chance your players have to win one year, you make it easier for them to win another year. Force out at second base. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. We go into the top of the 8th, and the score 7-6, Minnesota.
Axel on the mound. And a looper to center field. Lance Johnson coming on, gets a good break on the ball and takes it right off the grass for a sensational catch. And that is your Ameritech playbook.
Here's Chuck Knobloch, who's been on base all day long. It seems like he's leading off every inning. Led off the first, led off the third, led off the 6th, and now leads off in the 8th. He's been walked. He's singled. He's been hit by a pitch ball. He scored 2 runs. Bob Patterson on the hill. The base hit to right field. Knobloch singles to right.
Well, Pachota's getting loosened up because after Brady, it's all right-handed with Molitor, Coomer, Steinbach, and Cordova. And that's why Pachota's getting loosened.
So runner on at first base, nobody out. Brent Brady, who's walked twice and hit twice. Once a double, scoring a run. Another time a single, stealing a base, and walked twice. He tried to bunt, missed it. And Houston in the bottom of the 8th scored 1 run. Milwaukee batting in the 9th, leading 3-2.
Houston trying everything they can to break that 4-game losing streak.
1 on, nobody out. Fastball high and outside, 1-1.
Well, the way they're charging with Ori right on the doorstep of Brady and Grace charging hard, you wonder if Tom Kelly will take the bunt off and allow him to swing away.
1 ball, 1 strike. They're going to throw to first. Perfect sacrifice from Patterson to Sandberg. Good bunt.
And first sacrifice of the year for Brady. So when he's called upon to do it, he does it perfectly. And we'll see a flip-flop batting order undoubtedly as Pachota will come into the game to deal with Molitor and Coomer. And we'll see who will depart from the ball game besides Patterson.
His conversation with the umpire, Gary Davis, is over. And we'll be back now in a moment.
Rhino is heading for the last roundup baseball-wise.
Knobloch is 29 years old. Makes his home in Houston. Here's Mark Pachota now. He's got a tough cookie to try to retire. Paul Molitor already with 2 out of 4.
Knobloch does have a stolen base, and someone's going to have to pay attention to him at second.
Swings at the first pitch and fouls it out of play. Same 2 teams tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Bob Tewksbury from Minnesota. Mark Clark for the Cubs. Owen win the count. Low outside.
Pachota had 1 tough outing in Cleveland, and that's been the only tough outing he's had since coming up from AAA. He's thrown the ball very well.
Now ready. High pop foul, going to be out of play into the stands on the first base side. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The Twins lead 7-6.
Scout Service going out to make sure that they have the correct set of signs because he doesn't want to get crossed up here and let Knobloch head to third.
Molitor. Ron Coomer coming up next. One ball, 2 strikes. Outside, 2-2. The White Sox lead St. Louis 5-4 in the bottom of the 9th. Here, the Twins lead the Cubs 7-6 in the top of the 8th. Way outside, ball 3. Three balls, 2 strikes. A lot of Minnesota fans here. Ball 4, he walked him.
That's been the only chink in the armor for Mark Peixoto, is the fact that he has periodic control problems. 12 walks now in 16 2/3 innings.
The big right-hander will face Ron Coomer, who's batted in 2 runs today. Singled and scored another one in the 5th. We're losing our transportation. 1 out. Coomer. Double play ball. Out at second for 1. Out at first for 2. And he's out of the inning. 6-4-3. We go in the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs trailing 7-6. Ball 3. He gets on. He represents a tying run here in the bottom of the 8th. Swindell throws a strike.
Man, he's usually pretty tough to walk. He's walked twice with the Cubs. 11 times overall in 66 games.
Strike 2 call. Alexander thought it was low, started for first base. And quite often, if you start before they call it, they change their mind as to what they were going to call it. 3-2 pitch. Fouled it back out of play. Three balls, 2 strikes. Swindell's pitch. Popped it in the air. Short center field coming in for Becker. Makes the catch. 1 away. And here is Jose Hernandez. Who came into the game to give the Cubs a chance to change their batting order with a double switch. He's batting in the pitcher spot. There's a curveball in there for a strike call. One out, nobody on. 7-6 Minnesota. Way outside.
Eddie Guardado loosening up in the pen.
Long miss. Pitch was way outside.
It's always been one of Swindell's better pitches, and that's the straight change. And Hernandez has had very little luck against him, but he hasn't seen him in a while.
The Cubs on a record of 55 and 82. Minnesota's won 56 and lost 78. And it's White Sox won their ball game 5-4 in St. Louis. But Cleveland also won. Swung and he struck him out. And Milwaukee's 3 outs from winning. They lead at Houston 3-2. Houston batting in the bottom of the 9th. Let's see who Milwaukee's closer is.
Doug Jones, probably.
That's who it is. Now the pitch. Lance Johnson with 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 8th. Pitch in there for a strike call. The Twins have out-hit the Cubs 12-10. Each team has hit a homer. Two balls and the strike. 2 men are out. Nobody on. Fouled it back. Hey! A catch by a fan. Being congratulated. Shows how he did it to his pretty girlfriend. 2-2 pitch. Hot shot. In the right field off the first baseman's glove. A base hit probably.
Remember, Molitor is a designated hitter, and he has this one hop up and go by him. And it goes as a base hit. It took a bad hop, and it just eats him up. So the tying run aboard.
And it was very well hit. All right, here's Glanville. 3 out of 4. The tying run at first. Lance Johnson might try to steal his way in the scoring position.
Well, I hope not, because Swindell has a terrific move to first, as we saw earlier.
Lance Johnson will lead. A little bit outside, ball 1.
Aguilera, the closer, has joined Guardado in the bullpen. And Terry Adams throwing for the Cubs.
Glanville has hit 4 homers. The wind blowing in today. Strike call, 1-1. The White Sox beat the Cardinals 5-4. Houston batting the bottom of the 9th, trailing Milwaukee 3-2. Cleveland won its ball game. Throw the first runner back. 7-5 at Pittsburgh. Phillies beat the Yankees 5-1. The Mets shut out Toronto 3-0. Montreal beat Boston 4-2. There's a high fly ball coming in for, making the catch, Brady, to retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. At the end of 8, the Twins lead 7-6. Five
in a row now, lost by the Astros.
Here's the pitch, foul back.
We wonder if Tom Kelly will use Swindell as he faces Grace leading off the ninth. Then he's got the right-hander Sosa and Sandberg due up, and Aguilera is a right-handed closer. So we'll see what a very fine manager Tom Kelly will do as he'll head into the ninth with the lead.
Line drive, right field, nice play by Sammy Sosa. As Steinbach can get the ball on the button, only to have Sammy come up with it. One away.
Well, Steinbach would probably like to try somebody else because Sammy has made it over the shoulder catch and now the coming in catch, and both of them hit right on the button.
You know, talk about Tom Kelly. He's probably one of the nicest men in any profession.
And Harry, he's such a good manager,
yeah,
and he gets very little credit for it, probably because he has been in Minnesota. But what a terrific manager. And he's been 12 years on the job, and in this day and age of pro sports, that is quite an accomplishment.
Well, I tell you, when you talk about managers like Tom Kelly and like Jim Riggleman, you're not just talking what they can do in baseball. I mean, they're pleasant men to be around, just nice men. One ball, one strike. A little bit outside.
Tom told me his hair was a whole lot redder when he started managing, however, Harry.
He was pitching batting
I
practice
know.
today.
He does that a lot.
2 balls and the strike. High pop foul back out of play. Marty Cordova. He's 1 out of 4. That's what I was referring to earlier when we shot a shot of Riggleman in the dugout. There's a base hit by Cordova. He has had the worst year the manager can possibly have. It's one thing to be picked by everybody to lose. But when you're being picked by so many to be a contender, and you feel like you have a good ball club, and you know you manage well, and yet you can't win, you're in last place. Boy, that's when it's tough.
Denny Hocking comes on to pinch run for Marty Cordova.
One out, one on. And Rich Becker with 1 out of 4, who scored the run by which they lead right now, 7-6 in the 7th. Fastball high. Pat Meares, the shortstop, has batted in 4 of the runs. A 3-run homer and a single, driving in the go-ahead run in the 7th. Whoa, they got him picked off. This picking, boy, they put you in as a pinch hitter and you picked off first base. Boy, that's when you're embarrassed.
Goes 1-3-6-1 as Denny Hocking is picked off. And then the Cubs do the rundown pretty well. Mark Grace to Manny Alexander. He forces him back. And Mark Pachota right there as Hocking has to slide about 15 feet in front of the bag. And here's some bad base running by the Twins.
So there's 2 away now. Foul back. Hey, bouncing back down to the lower deck. 7-6 in favor of Minnesota. The Cubs are 7-5 against in interleague play. There's a strike call. The Chrysler Plymouth game summary for Minnesota: Meares, 2 for 4, 4 RBIs, a home run included, and the Cubs have left 8 men on base. Struck come out to end the inning. So we go into the bottom of the ninth. The Cubs trail by 1. Pitch runner was picked off.
And Rick Aguilera comes into the ball game. 4-4, looking for save number 23. 3.79 ERA on for the 52nd time. He has given up 7 home runs in 59 and a third innings. Walk 22, fan 61. But he's got to go right through the heart of the order for the Cubs. It's Grace, Sosa, and Sandberg.
You know, Kirby Puckett, who's a St. Louis boy, now a man, of course, is one of their executives, but he's not with the ball club here for this series. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought, sure, Kirby would be on hand. He's born and raised in Chicago, went to Triton College. Grace, the hitter, 1 strike. Milwaukee and Anaheim are the Pittsburghs of the National League. They're actually the Pittsburghs of the American League. They're the underdogs, are still in the race for a division title.
Well, Anaheim with Disney behind him has a few more bucks to spend than Pittsburgh.
1 ball, yeah, but who has suffered more through injuries than Anaheim?
Pittsburgh has suffered through a bunch. Anaheim has suffered through some, and Milwaukee has suffered through a tremendous amount of injuries.
Yeah, they've done an outstanding job, too. I'd give anything to see a World Series featuring the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, you might. It just won't be this year.
2 balls, 2 strikes. They still have a chance. We don't. A lot of other clubs don't, but they do. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled at that. I think it'd be a great thing for baseball that 2 small market teams could qualify. Of course, the odds are 1,000,000% against them. Two balls, 2 strikes. The crowd would love to see Grace get on there. Low and outside, ball 3. One thing about Mark, you can bet you gotta throw strikes. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He would represent the tying run if he gets on. Fouled it out of play. Kansas City defeated Cincinnati 7-4. The White Sox beat St. Louis 5-4 other games tonight. Florida's ahead of Baltimore 3-0 in the bottom of the 2nd in Baltimore. The game's been delayed by rain. Milwaukee edged Houston in Houston 3-2. Fouled it again. Cleveland and Pittsburgh defeated the Pirates 7-5. The Yankees at Philadelphia got beat 5-1. Toronto lost at New York 3-0. And Montreal beat the Red Sox 4-2. That's all the other baseball. There you see Riggleman and Kelly, left to right. 3-2. Again, he fouls it back. This is an interesting duel between a good hitter and a fine relief pitcher. The entire home plate section covered by the shade of the stand. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled it back again. This ball game might become a 4-hour game in only 9 innings. 7-6 Minnesota.
We'd have to play the longest 9th inning around a half hour.
A lot of strange things happen, Steve.
That would be one of the strange ones.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Again, he swings and fouls it off. Boy, is he battling up there. The longest 9-inning game, 4 hours, 20 minutes. April the 5th this year, Detroit against the White Sox. Three balls, 2 strikes. Boy, you'll hear a roar from this crowd of Mark after this long battle. Wins it. 3-2. Again, he lines a foul this time. Hard hit line drive down the third base line into the stand. Three balls, 2 strikes. This into the crowd. Ground ball to first. Easy out.
What a battle that was.
That was quite a battle. He hit the ball hard, but right at Molitor playing first.
And in the end, Aguilera kept throwing strikes on the 3-2 count. And Mark Grace battled as hard as you could battle and came up short.
Well, here's Sammy Sosa, who's driven in 3 runs today, giving a total of 105, and has hit a homer, running his total to 31, facing a sinker baller, Aguilera, who used to be with the Mets. Rick Aguilera. Breaking ball low and away. He lives in Incline Village, Nevada. Incline Village, Nevada. Born in San Gabriel, California.
And Sammy's had a tough time against him. But again, he has not seen him for a while.
1 ball, no strikes. Outside, ball 2. Ryan Sandberg would be next. The Twins have a pitcher who won his 18th yesterday, Brad Radke, with a record of 18-7. So we'll miss him, thank goodness. 2 balls, no strike. He had a cut, and the count goes down to 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out. 7-6 Minnesota, who've out-hit the Cubs 13-11. Cubs have had at least one hit in every inning. A lot of base runners. Fouls it off to the end of the bat. 2-2. Rick Aguilera asks for a new baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Base hit for Sammy. The tying run is on.
Well, he threw him a changeup at 2-2, and Sammy hits the off-speed pitch well, and he drove it into left field, representing the tying run.
And here's Steinbeck going out to talk to Aguilera. Sandberg. Dave Clark will be the pinch hitter next. One out, one on. Sammy hit a hard low line drive in the left field to become the tying run at first base. Only one out. The pitch, a little bit low. Now the pitching mound is in the shadow of the stands also. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Minnesota leading by 1. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Oh. A fastball here the Rhino connects with could turn defeat into victory in them second.
Dave Clark in the on-deck circle.
1 out, 1 on. Strike over the outside corner. The game started at 1:20. It's now a couple of minutes from 5 o'clock. Two balls and a strike. High pop fly. Who's going to get it? Look out, the right fielder coming in, and he makes the play. Knobloch had trouble with it, and the right fielder, Breedy, yelled him off and made the catch. 2 out.
And Dave Clark coming on to pinch hit. Dave Clark, who had a home run against Cleveland yesterday. 15 for 58, 3 home runs, 16 driven in as a pinch hitter.
Hitting a total of 279. Dave Clark, veteran outfielder. Two out, tying run at first. One strike to nothing. Cubs have had a lot of base runners, something like 18 or so. They've scored 6 of them. 0-1 the count. Did he hold up? Yep. Third base umpire, Scott Potter, one appeal to, said he did not swing. There you see Paul Molitor holding Sosa on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sammy